world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowler's Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Roll to Grip, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show. We are back in our normal locales. So whatever things we mess up today, well, it'll be on us. So I am Barnzy, joined by the inimitable Stuart Williams. How are you today?
Good. I'm just trying to finish this last little bit off. I had an interesting day yesterday, including an emergency landing in Jackson, Mississippi on the way home.
Yeah. All right.
So that was sweet. Apparently they smelt fire in the cabin at some point. So I'm just trying to find this fire. There it is. Yeah, they've smelt fire. Oh, smelt smoke, I guess, not fire. So the next minute they were like, "Yep, collect everything up, we're landing." I was like, "Oh, are we just gonna like hurry up and finish the last bit off?" And no, we landed in Jackson, Mississippi. And to start with, I honestly thought we landed at a non-airport, like a private. Because when I typed the airport code in my phone, it said that it was a private/military airport, and I was like, "Oh, we're never going home." But in the end, it was. So
Did
we
you
landed.
think ICE was going to be waiting for you, or what?
Yeah. So we landed at about 12:45, I think, was about the time we landed, and it was serious enough that the fire service was already waiting at the gate.
Oh.
We got off the plane. Now we didn't land and then get off. We taxied over, so I wasn't particularly, worried for my life. But yeah, we got over to the gate. We got off, and I was like, "This is going to take a minute." But Delta sent another plane from Atlanta that we had to change into. So we ended up getting going about 5 o'clock. So my original flight wasn't even supposed to be that one either. So yeah, it was
Oh boy.
It was an interesting day. I think it was because in the morning, the previous night I was hanging out with my buddy Jared, and it told me that the plane was delayed an hour, so I needed a different connector. So I chose a different connector, and I found the glitch in the matrix, because upgrading to first class for the one leg was $84, but I was spending $80 in bags. But if I upgraded for that one leg, I got the 2 bags for free. So I did that, and I still haven't paid for it. So I don't know what's going on with that. So I think that's why the plane had to
caught on fire.
Yeah. I was going to come out ahead, so they said, no, son, you're supposed to get back at 11 o'clock. How about you chew on 7 p.m.? Long day. But you had a long drive back, I guess, from West Virginia.
Morgantown, West Virginia. Yep. 18 and a half hours. So
I bet the first part of it went real quick.
It happened about a day faster than I thought it was going to. That's for sure.
Yeah. I didn't have on my bingo card you and Doherty missing the top 16. No,
it was that protracted pattern gives me some issues every once in a while. A high lineage center, and it's just long pattern. I struck a lot the first day, and then I didn't. They just turned the tap off, and I really couldn't quite figure out how to create any rotation down there without getting wet, some wet dry in the wrong areas. And the 48% strike percentage on day 2 with the 80%, 80-some% pocket percentage was a bad play there. So
I was about to say, you are literally describing my trip to the UBA.
Well, and speaking of,
So the first day, absolutely crushed them. Bowled 780, I think, 777. Ball was flying down the lane, could throw it kind of slow. We had a interesting team game. We bowled 11-17, 4-man team. One game. That was quite a lot.
11-17 for 4.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Nate Garcia lead off,
Yo, Trevor,
248.
what's up?
Bottom 3 guys, I went 9 spare the first time, and Cavagnaro had the messenger hit the 10 pin twice and not knock it over in the 9th frame, and he was the second bowler. That was our next miss. I shot 290, he shot 279, and then Brandon shot 300. We had a fairly solid team for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gene had a nice weekend. We snuck out the last cash in the last event I bowled, so thanks to Gene for that one. He had he made the Origin EX look a little dirty on that. Had a couple of Cove sightings as well, Chris. On the old wet dry. So
I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it was one of those places where I say this quietly, I might have needed a pin down ball. It got a little bit like a tour stop almost. Not in that the scoring pace went down, in that you know how it really gets super flat in the front part of the lane after they just keep oiling and oiling and oiling and oiling, and then it feels like down the lane, and then the lefties run away with it. That was kind of how it got to. But yes, yeah, it's definitely an interesting experience, the UBA.
Yeah.
So much bowling, so many teams. Like, it's crazy how many teams they have. Some of the events were so full that we were doing 8 on a pair. They were a little rough for me.
Oof.
4 games of 8 on a pair as well. Yeah, I struggled a little bit in those. In general, I thought it was a good time. Sorry?
That's 4 hours of bowling these days.
At least, yeah. In general, I had a pretty good time. You know, there's a couple of incidents that didn't work out so good. But overall, yeah, pretty good time. Your friend Ron Hicklin watched me bowl one set, and he saw how bad I was and offered to buy me a bowling ball, which was possibly the highlight of the weekend. Yeah. So
did you ask him for a cyclone? I hear it's a lot like a high road.
Yeah, he was definitely it was in definite good spirits. But the guys in the shop found that quite funny. They kept asking me if I wanted to buy something because they had Hicklin's card on file. Just like teasing me about that. So yeah. But ironically, after he said that, the next game that I bowled, I actually shot 300 with the Gremlin. But yes,
with not a hustle.
Yeah. I mean, I shot 190 the game after it, so although that set, it wasn't really going to matter. They were smacking them around pretty good, the lefties there. Ian Lang had, I think he had 856 with a stone 9.
Oh,
it's quite a lot for 3. The only amusing part about that really was the fact that Martel was bowling on the same lane as him and followed him every shot. And Martel was fortunate to shoot 625 that set while he bowled 850.
Whoa.
Oh, God. Yeah.
AJ is Hall of Fame. Yeah, the senior Hall of Fame. Anyway. But
I mean,
he's bowled incredible. There's just no two ways about it. And you know, he's got a skill set that that's pretty big. I mean, he can do a lot of different things. He combines a higher level of fitness than most with a higher level of intelligence with both balls and lane conditions than most. and at an execution level that matches. So
I was about to say, makes a couple of good shots a game as well.
yeah, I mean it's it kind of, if you're going to put it all in a bowl, that's pretty much how you'd mix it up.
And on top of that, he also doesn't bowl a schedule the same as the other really good bowlers who are out there, which I know people aren't going to understand, but Chris bowling and Doherty bowling the whole of the first of the regular tour and then bowling that tour might help you the first couple of weeks, but trust me, by the time you get to the end of the season, it isn't helpful. It isn't.
Yeah, I think it helps when you're bowling good coming into it. For me, it worked the opposite way because I was pretty beat up again for the second year in a row, just not bowling very good. And I've literally bowling the worst I've bowled in my probably since I was a freshman in college for the first month. And you walk it backwards, and the results were just not very good on the regular tour. And you blame it on, all right, they're younger, stronger, faster, and maybe that's why. And so I didn't realize how poorly I was bowling. So it took a while to get out of that too. But hang on, Glenn. Good morning, Stu and Chris. Great seeing you on Nate and Elise live.
Yeah, because Nate was. I bowled a lot of the events with Nate Garcia, so he was live a bunch of the of Battle Bowl. Yes, that was somebody did get threatened with, "I will see you at Waffle House, and if you know," was the quote. So yes.
Did you? I did. I have not seen this.
I have. Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it solid?
I mean, I just feel like everybody overdoes the lack of follow through, but whatever you want to say.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the obvious.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, the ironic thing was Brad's ball hooked more than it's ever hooked before. So, and he absolutely crushed the pocket. So, maybe I'm onto something, Brad.
Just you and Voss. No.
Yes, Buff Love. Yes, it was. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I got my ass handed to me in the contract match, which is somewhat becoming an annual tradition at Battle Bowl. Simo won last year. In my defense, I did play the guy who came second or third, as opposed to Simo, who played the guy who came ninth. Because, of course, if you're on a ball staff with a different company, you can't take the contract match. So, Storm offer a contract match for whoever wins the singles. Well, if I'd have had to play Ian Lang, there was probably no point in me turning up at all. But he's on Brunswick staff, and then so I ended up playing Danielle McCune's little brother, who is another specimen who looks like he's been built in the lab. I don't know if you ever seen Nick. Danielle's younger brother.
Oh yeah. He's an athlete.
Yeah, a baseball player.
No, confusing.
Yes, he. I felt like I had a chance when we first started because I thought we were going to bowl on the fresh, but it wasn't the fresh. And then I thought that was going to work out okay for me when I won a game. And then it didn't at all. I won one game, and then he said, "That's cute. Let me go and get my Hammer Effect tour," and said, "That's enough of that." And it ended up being 4-1. So gentleman's sweep.
Oh, yeah.
The games weren't that close either. Yeah, he.
X-ray, in my opinion, but that US too. So.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I have more data with the X-ray. To be perfectly honest, I think the Earth might be a little earlier, but I mean, I think they're much of a muchness, to be perfectly honest. When the ball flares that little and it's got a cover that's fairly strong, relatively speaking, I don't know that there's much of a separator. You might not be able to get hold of an X-ray anymore.
Mm.
But like, I don't think the Earth is like terrible option off it, so to speak. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I say, we've had more success with the X-ray, but that's really, if the Earth had come out first, we might be saying, "Oh yeah, the Hustle Earth, not the Hustle X-ray." Like,
They might be close enough. Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
yeah, that
only
they're
need
very
one ball down in
interchangeable.
that category, and that one's kind of fit. So that's just been
Yeah,
what we use.
and also the less oil you use a ball on, the longer it's going to last because oil kills bowling balls. Like, just in general,
Well, not all of them. But
it's not really a hot take for that one, but yes, we could go to the urethanes. Um,
ban it. What?
it says my dad 250 to 275 rev rate, 12 to 13 on the monitor, is looking for a ball up and down from an Ion Pro Solid. Any recommendations? Yes. So I would look for the ball up from the Ion Pro Solid to have a little more flair. So for me, if you're throwing it that slow, I could see like an Equinox almost being a ball up because it just flares more. I think if you go to a ball that's much stronger than that, I just don't think you'll ever get to use it. You know, you could look at maybe an Attention Star, but I wouldn't go to something with the speed that slow. I wouldn't go to something that's necessarily like a dull ball. But Chris might have a different theory. And then real quick, the ball down that I would choose is the Typhoon.
Mm.
I think that's a pretty good option. A weaker cover. It's more like it's like a Hustle cover, but added to a little more flair. That's how I see it. That's not like I'm
Yeah.
stealing any data from behind
Right.
closed doors or anything. That's just how it feels. It's definitely got a little more core, but it's nowhere near as much cover as like a high road type deal. So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah. Maybe a rock star. You know, if you drilled it,
that's another decent
and
option.
each lane shines up anyway a little bit, and so, but along the same veins of as what Stu said, either a shinier ball that just flares more. The Gremlin might be an option that way as well, uh,
Yeah.
just because it is shiny and it's so much more core that you might get a lot of the same thing out of it, just stronger because it probably flares almost twice as much. Uh, and then yeah, I'm a Hustle fan. I used Ultimate Wrecker a little bit this year. I think that the IQAI is probably a little too close, uh, and so uh, the Typhoon is down in there too.
Mm-hmm.
You
We'll
got that,
start this tier
huh?
list in a
What?
minute. I didn't realize that you'd even touched one of those balls that you just said, so I'm adding it.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't seen that you'd even touched an Ultimate Wrecker, so I just added it.
No, it was at Jack 60. It was very useful actually. And then we just
Uh,
pulled on 46 feet every week. So after that, so we are creatures of habit on the senior tour. You just keep pulling the same things over and over.
James, I haven't seen anything as yet. I think that it sold fairly well, so I wouldn't be surprised if there was. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if there was. If we're looking for a ball in that range, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if we had a straight, solid reactive, no nano with the Equinox core to fit, because we've got rid of the absolute power. We've got rid of the Excel. I imagine the S2 is not that far behind. So having that sort of like, it's a ball that doesn't necessarily sell 100% the best, it seems like, but it's a ball that for me personally is very useful. So I need them to keep having that ball in the
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting year, and I think as we go through our tier list here in a minute, you'll see. But the bigger balls weren't useful on either tour, particularly, and maybe that's the deal where we're not using a ton of oil. We're using a lot of oil, but not a ton of it's in the front part of the lane, and the surfaces are getting older. And it's been it's been tricky to use the realities and gems Ion Pro Max, Ion Pro Max, Ion Max,
Yeah, I
Hyperdrive. Those balls just haven't been as good as you would think they would be. No, I think they are good. They haven't been as usable. We haven't been able to use them hardly at all.
I think that for me, like it's funny. I stopped using the Ion Max and the Hyperdrive because I had the XL and I could use it a lot. And I think that it was somewhat of a mistake because I think I could have used the Ion Max more. I just didn't, if that sort of makes sense. It felt like it wasn't,
Yeah,
but like I got a new Ion Max the other day because I lost the one. I literally don't know where it is. I feel very bad when I do things like that. But that one for me is very continuous because it's so smooth. So the front part of the lane has to be absolutely terrible for me not to be able to use it. Whereas some of the other ones, like for me, the gem was a little bit quicker than that one, and then it was out of play for me.
and the Hyperdrive is quick as well.
Yeah. Um,
Okay, explain what you're looking for in diff and flare and how that impacts choices like gap between lines and overlap. What you expect. I mean,
for me, I think me and Chris are a little bit the opposite on this. I think Chris likes a little bit of less flare and using a little stronger cover. I am like kind of the opposite way. I tend to use a little more flare balls, but try to use the weaker cover in those balls because I feel like in my brain,
mhm.
if I use a little less cover but a little more flare, I can use, and it's all skill set related and like what we like to see. But I feel like if I use a little less cover, it's going to stay in play a little bit longer. Um, and that's just kind of how I see it. So, like for me, the hustle becomes quite it makes the lane a little bit more wet dry for me, just in general, the shinier ones anyway,
Mhm.
because when they don't flare very much, when it hits the dry, it's got all of its energy, nothing's bled off. And that dry could be in the front part of the lane, it could be in the, to the right, whatever. But where it hits the friction, if it's not slowed down at all, it tends to be very responsive to it for me. So I tend to use like the ball that's a little stronger because I feel like the flare will blend it out a little more. That's how I see it. That's why I see the Typhoon as being way more usable for me when the lanes get a bit drier because I just feel like I want to throw it a little harder, knowing that the flare will give me a little bit more forgiveness down the lane. Whereas I don't want to speak for him, but I think Chris likes to be able to know that it's going to be cleaner and he'll just roll it more.
Yeah, I mean, my theory is basically to use the strongest ball I can, but as because of how I like to throw the ball, which is rollier. Uh,
Yeah.
I tend to use balls to cover up my weakness, which I don't create a ton of length, and so you move to more polish. If I can get away with polish with more flair, which is kind of where we're hoping that Gremlin fits in, moving forward, like the X2 has in the past. Uh, I'm matching up flair. RG and Flair were matching up a lot in the mid lane and back end of the lane, and so uh, you're using Flair to balance out wet dry, and you're using Flair to to help the ball hook and stay on a fresh surface through the mid lane. And so when there's plenty of friction there, then I can go down and use balls that don't flare as much, but they need to be smoking a little bit. And what it does allow me to is not have to give away a head pin as much, you know.
Makes sense.
But can you carry when you're doing that? these days it gets harder and harder because there's a lot of oil in the back end of the pattern.
Yeah, and it also becomes a and this was something I battled this weekend. It's finding that in between, because the quick ball or the responsive ball, whether it flares or not, is responsive to friction. So it's like if the friction is close to you, the ball ends up hooking earlier. So then there's that fine line between finding a ball that is smooth enough that it doesn't respond to the friction, but not strong enough that it doesn't burn up. And that's a lot why I personally believe something like the Hustle X-Ray is actually a lot of the time way more useful as your weak ball than like the Pearl Hustle. Because by the time you need to use the Pearl Hustle, for me, the lane is so messed up in the front part of the lane that half the time it hooks just as early as any of the other balls because it's so responsive to that friction.
Right.
So
it's where the balls that you talk about, the absolute power, which is a strong-ish cover. It's the smoothest cover, but it's not super early.
Yes.
And it blends the front of the lane out and makes it save more energy for the back and a relatively big ball.
Yeah. And that's where I actually think my eyes were opened up a little bit to this ball this weekend. Because so far, I don't really see, for me personally, a huge window of use for the Cove. Like, I feel like it's not strong enough in the right place to make up for how smooth it is. But this weekend, I actually got to see a few people be able to use it. And the fact that it wasn't that strong was it would get through the front part of the lane because it would just bleed a little bit. And then it would continue down the lane because there was enough friction to make it hook. So it was one of the first times I'd really seen it where I was like, oh, I could see, it kind of made sense for a gap it could fit into.
We'll see. I think everything's going to have to go away for it to be particularly useful. Hi, Adam.
Well, yeah, this wasn't. I was on a house shot, so it wasn't totally a non-urethane tournament on the right side, anyway.
Right.
So
right. It was great to see you win twice this year. What was the key to your titles? Turns out I was pretty good on the medium patterns this year. Had some balls I really liked. Ember, High Road 40, Rockstar was good on it too, and Ultimate Record at times was actually another ball I used on this. But really, it came down to it took a village of people to kind of get me out of some bad habits that I created on the regular tour. So old span and pitch changes, then some good coaching up by my boss, and some good friends around that we got a piece here, a piece here, a piece here, and like a lot of things, things are better when it's my idea, and so they keyed up a lot of different things though, because I was pretty stuck in the space I was and couldn't get out of it, and so yeah, I mean, it takes a village sometimes, and so it was really the people who got me out of where I was at, and then a lot of practice after that.
Yeah, and I also think that when you get some positive feedback from some of the choices, it's one of those things like you can make all the changes in the world, and if the first tournament you go to doesn't really suit you, just as a player, it feels like you've made no progress. But if you go to the next tournament after you've worked on a bunch of stuff, it might be the best matchup ever for you. But because you did all that work and then you see that feedback straight away, it just feeds into like bowling is such a confident sport. Like sport in general is all about confidence.
Despite all the positive self-talk that I throw out there, in general, I still have a fair amount of belief that I can play. And so, but I am very evidence-based. And so you do need to see some of it happen.
Yeah, I just mean like once you get that good feedback, it's such a relief.
Yeah, you kind of go, oh, okay, all right, we're finally doing the right thing. Now I can build on it. Now you can
And it's amazing. Like, even when you're doing everything that you've told yourself to do, if you're not striking, you're just like, I'm just not doing it right.
Yeah, it's still not there. It's not there. It's not there. It's not there.
Yeah. But when you do it, it's the best.
Terry, just thoughts. Do you think you're rolling worse on regular tour due to using more urethane? Unlike the senior tour, bowlers tend to tweak things trying to carry when urethane being used. I think we've seen it over the years, guys switching ball brands and different things, and trying to make their ball hook more to keep up with other balls. Even when the rev rates are high, for me, I'm on the low end of the rev rate scale on the regular tour. I certainly got into habits trying to make my ball hook down lane like they were. I don't know that it's necessarily urethane, because urethane I actually get to roll because the shape's already smooth.
300 first game of the season.
Yeah, it literally was all downhill after the first game.
I mean, you set a pretty high bar.
There was only one way it could go. I was the leader. I shot 300 game one. I shoot 230 game two. I wasn't even leading at my own son after game two. At that point, I never caught him again for the rest of the year. He's sleeping now, so I'm glad he didn't hear that. But yeah, I mean, it was wild. But yeah, I do think, when you brought up urethane, I thought about this a lot, because obviously it was a hot topic for a while, and that's kind of gone away. And it played through different scenarios of what the tour would look like if it went away. And based on my experience, going back 25 years on tour, I do think the left and the tour in general would be better off if urethane went away. We have such it's skewed so heavily towards rev rate right now being the dominant factor, and that's not to say you can't get there without a lot of rev rate, but the windows are pretty small. I think we have a less versatile tour in some ways than ever. I'm not saying BJ and Simo and those guys. I'm saying in general, the middle of the field is dominated by basically rev rate being the only tool.
Yeah, there's way less specialists, isn't there?
Yeah, there's just doing what Norm did and playing straight and then hooking it, and Walter and some of those guys.
I don't even.
It's not really even a thing right now on the regular tour. And on the senior tour, it goes the other way. I get to see it as a straighter guy on one tour and as the power guy on the other. Yeah. And there's such an advantage, no matter, you don't have to bowl nearly as well.
Well, I just meant kind of the other way, even though, like, people who are specific to doing one thing. Like, could you imagine like somebody like Dale Traber, who had quite a lot of success, ever having, like, almost ever even making the cut? And that's not to disparage him at all. It's like you say it all the time. Like, the young guys cannot even envision a world where Walter Ray was even a good bowler. Never mind the greatest bowler of all time. Like, just even a good bowler.
Yeah. I mean, the guy has won from literally every arrow. And in this world right now, because of how that transition happens, it basically just takes away his ability to keep up after game three.
Yeah, I mean, like, the best bowlers of all time, like, you're talking about Walter Ray and Norm Duke and Pete Weber, they wouldn't even be competitive in this era. And that's not because they wouldn't be able to make as good as shots. Of course not. It's just because nobody with that rev rate has any prayer. Like, it's basically impossible.
Mm-hmm. Like, and so, yeah, I mean, there's adjustments that have to be made. It's not perfect. It doesn't come without bringing in other problems. I understand. But I do think overall the right to left would get better. The shutout versus, run over kind of lopsided scenarios would get better, and the tour would get more versatile again.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Before we get to our tier list, starting a 5-man league, looking for a weaker option for transition on higher friction lanes. I have a Phase AI and a Road Warrior that, for that situation, is there any point in drilling anything else? Those two balls are a lot apart.
I was about to say there is always a reason to drill something else. There is also a big theory, depending on your style, I firmly believe that one of the best ways to overcome transition on a house shot is actually once you move left, you actually ball up a little bit.
Yeah.
I understand that that isn't necessarily always helpful for everybody's skill sets. Like if they're not feeling that comfortable about moving left and opening their angle, that doesn't necessarily work. So based on the two balls you are suggesting, I personally feel like for most players on the Storm brand that the High Road 40 has somewhat replaced the Road Warrior. I think it's a little bit more motion down the lane, which makes a little more sense. When the Road Warrior first come out, I thought that ball was going to be absolutely everything that I'd ever loved and wanted. I just feel like it ends up getting quite smooth down the lane, which sometimes doesn't always make a whole lot of sense when you're trying to use it. I do kind of prefer the motion the High Road 40 makes. It's a little cleaner, a little sharper off it. And then if the Road Warrior is getting to be too strong, like you're struggling to get it through the front part of the lane, I do kind of like that Typhoon as an option on like lower volume type stuff. So with you saying you've got more friction, I guess what Chris is kind of intimating, the phase AI and the Road Warrior is a pretty big gap. I think that maybe, especially if you're a straighter player, the Gremlin might fit in kind of nicely.
It could fit in there. There's a lot of balls that fit in between those two, but the Ion Pro Solid, if you like those middle flaring balls, that has been very popular, even on the senior tour. So it's not a rev specific thing where you have to have a lot of a big hand to make that one look good. I did use a phase AI a lot on the senior tour, ironically, which is a ball I kind of used and bypassed at the time because we had so many balls in that category. And now, as a lot of them have fallen off, it is a ball I've thought since the beginning read the mid lane and gave me a ton of control. Getting it through the pins was tricky, but that's not as much an issue on the house shots where there's back end all the time. But and then that ultimate record kind of took the place of the Road Warrior for me in that same slot. But Claire's just a little bit more, not a little bit stronger cover, probably.
So yeah, if you have any more questions on that, Eli, just drop them back in the chat and we'll circle around. We do have to start the tier list at some point because we're 3/4 of the way through the show. So I'm going to throw it up. I'm going to take this off. We have one more super chat there. I do want to address one question. It says UBA Fitz used to can talk junk without people losing their shit. I actually find it totally the opposite way. I feel like the UBA guys get a little more upset when I talk it back to them. They want to talk all the smack forward. A lot of them don't really like it when it comes back at them. I'm the pro, whatever. You stink, whatever. Sure, I'll take your bet. Well, of course you'll take my bet. You're a professional bowler. Feel like it is a little more that way. There was a few hurt feelings. Yeah. And then the one other one was Stu shooting 300 in silence. That was awesome. Yeah. I let them know about how quiet they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I shot 300 and I turned around. There was no applause, and I said, "That's the best show of respect ever. Just shut the fuck up." So yes, I enjoyed myself with that. We do have another super chat here from Chris. Hey guys, 2-hander and my tournament bag is Mesmerize. So that's Brunswick's pretty strong one. I actually like that ball the way it rolls. Attention Star, Optimum Idle Pearl, Ion Pro, Typhoon, and Urethane. What am I missing? I think that you are missing something a little bit in the strong side below the mesmerized. So maybe a rock star type ball. I think that would fit nicely with what you've got, but the rest of the bag I think makes pretty much sense. I would think your Ion Pro would probably go mesmerized, attention star, Ion Pro, Optimum Idol, Typhoon. If I was doing it.
Yeah.
What about you, Chris? I feel like
No. I mean, there's a lot of gaps filled there. None of them all are my favorite bowling balls, but that doesn't. It's really about you're filling gaps and they roll good for you. And I think those balls slide in pretty good together. Yeah, most of my suggestions would be way more of replacing this ball with that ball than really covering any bigger gap than the one you mentioned. So, and that's been a tough gap to fill right now. So,
hey, John, I have to use the Black Pearl urethane at 70 by. Oh, you're talking about the layout?
oh, okay, dual angle. There we go.
Yeah,
70 by, what would that be?
Yeah, if you're doing 70 by 20, no changes to serve, and I still overhook, pap 3 and over and an inch down. Are you right-handed or left-handed? I have so many questions for this. What are you bowling on? Is this on a house shot? Are you two-handed? What's your rev rate? What's your speed? Put it back in the chat, John, because obviously we appreciate the super chat, and I want to find a
make sure we
solution
get
for you. We'll spin back to you. Let us just get this tier list going a little bit, and you put in your details. Are you right-handed or left-handed? What's your speed like? What's your rev rate like? Ryan says, move your feet. Yeah, that's helpful. But yes, we'll come back to you, John. Just answer a few more questions so we can give you a better. And is the 70 by 20 the layout? Right-handed, one-handed travel league. Okay. Like, to me, it just sounds like that ball's hooking way too early. That's your problem. Like, the travel leagues don't tend to put out a ton of oil. I just think that, like, you're probably finding that with the urethane ball, it's just hooking so soon that you're just not being able to get it through the front part of the lane. Have you tried any shiny reactive balls? Like, kind of lower end shiny reactive balls? That would be my first port of call. Keep answering questions. We'll keep getting back to you, but let's get this started, Chris. So we've got the 5 tiers, which is 3 hearts, 2 hearts, 1 heart. I think that's fairly explanatory. This 4th tier here is car, which means that Chris had it with him, but he didn't necessarily bring it in the bowling center. And then house is he left it at home in Texas. So phase 2. Car. Okay. I mean, it's kind of hard to travel without a phase 2, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I left it at the house first. I drilled another one. This is a ball that rolls great for a lot of people. I am not one of them.
Okay.
I just don't. I can't ever really. It's close, but it's never the choice. It's wild. I don't know why.
Jam.
It was in the car a lot this year. It's been a favorite for a long time, but
the reality.
That's still a love.
Just a 1 or a 2
or 2 stars there.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Vibo.
That's a 3-star for me still.
Yeah, I figured it was. The Vibo kind of replaced the X2 for you, really, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Once my X2's kind of all
aged out,
I guess is the right way to put it. Yeah. My last one was a victim of span change. So yeah.
Yeah, John says, yes, it still hooks too much. John, I think that you are the only way that I could see that you could help from this is you're going to have to change your direction of roll, because outside of, like, I could just suggest you to just throw it harder, but I'm sure you've tried that. So trying to think of things that you could do to do that outside of putting polish on your urethane ball, which I don't particularly love as an option, but it is an option. It's a kind of challenging finding a pro shop who can actually get a urethane ball shiny, because it takes a minute.
Yeah, you can get actual sandpaper and take it down a little bit, but
Yeah. But I think trying to get more forward roll is going to be the key, because you were talking about your pap being only like 3.5 over and an inch down. So that to me sounds like you really kind of thumb down it and you're around it a lot. So if you can try to think about keeping your thumb, not going past 12 o'clock, so to speak. So try to keep your thumb more on the right side of the ball as you let go of it, rather than really coming over the top of it, and creating like something that's more forward. I think that will make it a little bit more controllable. It might hook a little earlier, but it's not going to change direction. Um, yeah. It's almost impossible for your axis to be what it is while rolling over the fingers. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have more answers for you, John. But outside of really taking the surface up on that urethane or going to something like a mix, I really don't know what
if
we
you
could.
roll over the fingers, your axis is not 3.5; it's closer to 6.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and especially with it only being one down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit at a loss for you, John. Like I say, I wish I had more answers for you. But yes, somebody's saying a mix is nice. Yeah, I mean, that's the only ball, like a mix or an axe or something like that.
That's a ball down urethane. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. Right. Okay. I put the journey in because I knew that you had one a little bit that you drilled earlier on. Did you end up taking that anywhere?
House. Nope.
IQ Tour?
House.
That was a home?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you should get on better with the IQ Tour based on the balls that you kind of like.
Dude, it's kind of one like a phase 2. It makes sense a lot, but the Ion Pro Solid took over a lot of that spot for me as the year went on. So
Yeah.
really like that ball.
Yeah, I think it's been a good one for sure. Zen 25. I know this has got to be in the heart somewhere.
Yeah, 2-star.
Yeah,
reality obviously was a 3-star for a long time. It's starting to it's just long in the tooth, maybe more than anything.
Yeah, you kind of needed Ryan not to have drilled all the ones you had.
Maybe. He makes more money with his than I do with mine.
Yeah. XL.
1-star. I liked it a lot last year. A little the same thing. I need a new one probably at some point, and it just didn't play out for me. So,
what about the Origin EX?
I had a shiny one that was it was in the building a lot. It was probably a 1-star though. The dollar ones were not useful this year.
No. Hustle X-Ray.
2-star.
Oh, okay. Used it a bit more than I thought.
Yeah, we had some higher friction places that it was in play. It was a regular in the building.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting piece, that, because you can definitely use it on the fresh sometimes.
Yeah, you can use it in the middle sometimes. You can use it in some interesting places. It does roll good, and the guys on tour kind of how early they were using the blocks has kind of inspired that whole thing. And then it took some other balls. it simplified some things for me down on the bottom end of the. It was my just in case a lot because the seniors don't really make them hook as much as the kids tour does. But
we do have one super chat there. The original Origin, did that get any love?
yeah, it a couple of different times. I would say 1 star. Moved
Kind
down
of
from a
it's
2.
kind of a 1.5 star.
Yeah,
1.5
it was a
half.
2 for a long time, and some other balls they use the rock star a lot more this year.
Rockstar, is that going to be at the top tier?
Yeah, it's a top tier for me.
S2.
It got to a 1 star actually.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I didn't. It was completely out of play. Ended up using it on a telecast. That was Mitch got an assist on that one because I wasn't drawing it.
I was about to say, did you win?
I did win that show. It
Okay.
was a train wreck. No, I got you to the final match. I was third, and I got through 2 ugly matches, and then Clark. I finally bowled a good game, and Clark bowled a better game.
Clark who?
Mark Clark.
Oh.
The World Championship one. So.
Oh, Mark Clark. Yeah,
Mark
sorry.
Clark.
I'm just
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Rockstar. Sorry, Road Warrior.
Ended up being down in the car.
Okay. High Road 40 has to be at the top. Anytime you win a tournament, that's
I won a tournament with it, so that's a
Hyperdrive.
That was a 2-star, polished.
Yeah, I think that ball for the pros came out a week that wasn't a very good week for it to come out, and then it got a bit of a bad rap. Whereas I think it's been a lot better. Like Mitch Hupé used it, I believe, when he crushed them at Nationals in the Bowlers Journal.
Yeah, I think that ball's actually really good. It's for if you like the gem, I think that's a ball you probably like a lot.
It's a little higher RG as well, isn't it, than the other big balls?
It's sharper off the end of the pattern than the big balls, and that's when you put some polish on it, it still has some shape. Versus most of the big balls really get smooth when you do that. Would the code be a good ball down from Harsh Reality Pearl? Man, they're way different.
Yeah.
Balanced lefty at 17. On the left, I think it has a chance. It has way more surface, obviously, than a Harsh Reality Pearl, and I think it's also smoother, but you use it in the same way as far as blending the wet dry out. I would polish my cove a little bit. At the very least, I would put it on a spinner and take it down to 2,000 or 3,000 maybe and no polish and see how that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't come out the box, like out the factory, like theoretically that dull, but it
I got one that was, and then maybe that's part of the issue.
and I also think that the colors make it seem like it's duller than it is.
Probably very true.
Like theoretically, the ball down from a Harsh Reality Pearl, like traditionally would be something like a Gremlin. I wouldn't necessarily think that the Cove and the Harsh Reality Pearl logically would play well together, like Chris was saying. It doesn't mean that they can't. It's just that wouldn't necessarily be like if the angle that I would have to play with a Harsh Reality Pearl, there's no chance I could play, me personally, that I could play even a close to a same reaction with the Cove. So, yeah. Cove is very smooth.
It is smooth. It is smooth. So,
Phase AI.
I'm shocked I have to put this in the top tier.
The top.
I used it so much the last half of the season. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
It started the year as in the car, and
just a wild turn of events.
It was a 58-footer. It read the lane great, never went through the pins. And I finally drilled a down one that kind of leaned into what it is, which is a little smoother with polish. And then it started going through the pins. And it's
wild.
So good when it was good. It's crazy.
Physics blackout?
Ended up car.
Do you know, like the physics blackout for me is a very strange ball. Like it's so strange. Like I never really know what it's going to do is the problem. But when it's good,
Yeah,
it's awesome. I
yeah,
do start
it
to
got a
really
little.
believe that its best time is on a shorter pattern though.
Yeah, it got to be where it's just a little. I'm actually really. I used a gremlin that I put some surface on at the end, and was really impressed. I need to use it a little bit more, but it was really good on the longer pattern with some surface on it. It wasn't so early. I was surprised. So
So
interesting.
we can put the gremlin in. Where did you have the gremlin?
2.
Two. And you didn't really get that much time with it.
I didn't, and that's why it's 2. I think it has a lot of potential to be a 3.
Ember, I'm guessing for you
That
became a
was a 3.
3.
Yeah, the one term it basically led to using it the whole time. So,
The Cove, was that a car?
it was just because it's new.
But it could have been a home.
Uh-huh. It is
Oh,
now.
I've got a couple of balls here twice, unfortunately.
Okay.
Attention Star.
Car. I want to like it. I keep trying to like it because the
Yeah.
guys that can use it, it's amazing. It's such an
Yeah.
advantage when that ball's good.
I agree. I went through that. I finally got a little bit of use out of them.
Yeah, I finally just
Equinox.
1 star.
Yeah.
It was really good for a while, and then it just kind of as it went on, I just really just didn't use it.
Yeah,
It
I felt
lost.
like that a little bit since Reno.
Mhm.
Ion Pro Solid.
Uh, that's up in the 3-star range for me.
Okay. Typhoon.
Ended up being at home for me.
Okay. That's one of those
We do
balls that I
not we
feel like
don't
you
see that
should.
one the same.
Yeah. Maybe that one's just better for the guys who like bang on it a little more because, like, for
Yeah.
me, it was really good in Jackson. And then when there was a bit more oil on tour, it wasn't any use at all. So I almost want to get a fresh one at home.
Mhm.
Like, I think I'm probably going to get a fresh one before I go to Longview because they tend to not feel like there's a lot of oil on the lane at Longview. And I feel like it's going about as well as lengthening my
For those who are just listening, Stu, what's the latest on lengthening your follow through?
the pills don't work. Oh shit. Okay. Ultimate Wrecker.
That was a 1 star. It
Okay.
it was really good a few times, but I didn't get to use it a lot.
Regular Ion Pro.
Ended up being home.
Belmo's first identity.
Home.
Belmo's second identity.
Home.
Uh,
Give it to car, actually.
Yeah, because you had it, you drilled
I
it.
did have it, and I did use it somewhere a little bit, so it wasn't.
I quite liked it this weekend. I felt like it continued pretty good when I was using a lot of forward roll.
Yeah, yeah, if we're being fair, it was better for me than the first one by a fair margin.
Optimum Idol.
Home.
I don't really know why that one was on there. It was probably because of Ryan.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
used
you
it a
might have
lot.
been influenced. IQ AI.
I wanted to be a 2-star, but it was a 1 star mostly for me.
Yeah, I kind of wondered whether you ended up getting to like it a little more because it feels like it's one of the balls that makes sense if you're using the phase AI.
Yeah, the ion solid ended up fitting in that kind of gap around it.
Makes sense.
And so when I got between the two, I just ended up throwing that one instead. So
I see a lot of people using this IQ AI, and I had the one decent event with it. Well, I didn't have a decent event. I had a decent few games with it in Reno at the first stop in Reno. And then I never really saw the point of it after that. So I feel like it might be something useful for me when I get home.
No more lengthening talk.
Ion Max Pro.
Ion Max Pro. That ended up being a home for me. I didn't take it out there.
And then we've got 2 balls here at the bottom that I've already put in the list. I just messed it up when I was adding them. And then the IQ 78U. You wanted another tier for this one, right?
Yeah. I just put that on the ban list.
But in terms of what you actually used,
it ended up being. I mean, it's a 1 or 2 star, so it's. I mean, you get to throw them. At times, you almost have to throw them. So.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison to me personally, looking at some of these balls, I don't carry a Vibo. I just don't have one now. Rockstar for me, I don't mind it, but it could never be a 3. High Road 40, I've only drilled the 1, surprisingly. It's kind of useful. I think you mind with the Phase AI. Ember looks like it's got possibilities. I do kind of like.
It's actually been a surprise. I was just marginally like, and then as it kept going, actually, it's impressed me more and more.
Yeah, well, you've kind of been championing for the championing,
championing
for the 40 diff balls, really, haven't you?
Well, there's just gaps. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
In this, it's a little bit. It's a touch higher RG. It's a touch. It's more than the Ion Pro series balls, and so it fits. It fits some space there.
Just give me 1 second. Someone just knocked at the door. I'll be back. Answer that super chat.
What's that? Oh yeah. When you guys bowled on Cheetah, was it urethane all the time? I didn't throw urethane at all. There was a lot of people that did, and I just used the urethane as hold, and it worked out quite a bit better for me than it did for them. They had to get out of it. So, super chat, Robert. What a great show. Would you say the Cove would be like an exponent, or does it depend? It's probably the closest thing we have to an exponent. The exponent cover isn't quite as early as that is, but that doesn't mean. Yeah, I could play around with the cover a little bit more and maybe get it in that range, but the exponent has more shape down lane for me than the Cove so far. But that's actually not a bad call. That's probably the closest thing core. It just comes a little bit, whether, like Stu said, whether it's the colors that make it look like it's a little earlier, it just feels like it's a little smoother than exponent is.
It could replace the exponent for me because I don't use either. A couple of people are asking about Lightning Blackout.
Yeah, I did like it for a little while last year.
Hustle Plus.
I didn't hardly ever use it. And then the X-Ray, Ion Pro Solid, those kind of balls, IQ AI, all of those are way better. And the Lightning Blackout was just smooth enough. Like I said, if we didn't have urethane, I could definitely see using it a fair amount on short patterns. But with urethane, it just it gets neutralized so quickly by the carry down that it's just not a useful tool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it doesn't flare at almost at all, like relatively speaking. And then you put a stronger cover on it. So the time when the hustle is actually useful, this ball hooks too much, so it forces you further left.
Yeah.
Is kind of where I fall. I could imagine lefties don't mind it.
Right.
But on the right side, it's very short time.
To get better scores, have you tried bowling in a crop top, sundress, or tutu?
I don't know, but Ryan really should consider it.
I've seen visual evidence. It seems to work out pretty good.
We did forget one.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, that Chris doesn't even have one in his house.
No, there's not even one there. Yeah, no, that's That's
Hello,
just a pass for me.
Josh.
Now fair play. Simo has figured out how to. It's kind of he's using that instead of IQ 78 these days.
Yeah.
Uh,
Outside of career, I haven't seen him having much success doing it, though.
well, I just haven't seen him, so I couldn't say one way or the other. So,
Again, for me, Clint, fresh air. I mean,
Optomidal Pearl.
I guess the Ember, like, because
Yeah, it's sharper. It's sharper than that, I think.
no, but I'm just saying, like, a lower RG
Yeah,
Pearl Ball.
where I use the shape that he's talking about after watching him bowl, and he bowled really good this year. Congratulations, Clint. He had a nice season out there. I'd probably use the Shiny Origin EX. You put polish on that, and then you get kind of that smooth, that big ball, and heavy in the mid lane, without as much early hook. I'd probably use it in that category the most.
If you
But
really
it
like
is
the,
asymmetrical. It's not, it's not identical.
I was about to say, if you really like the Optimum Idol Pearl, call round a few pro shops. I'm sure people still have them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously, yeah. Yeah, probably. Probably right.
Yeah.
I
we
don't know
just-
what that has on ball reaction when the ball's
Nah,
50 feet from me.
Stu likes bangers too. He likes balls that really come around the corner, and it is relative. The Zen 25 is in the second category. It's right
Second
next to
ball,
reality.
second category, Adam. 2 hearts. Reality, Zen 25. Oh, I think he's talking about Zen 25 replacing Optimum Idol.
Possible. It's a little quicker. What replaced the Phase 4?
Nothing. For the simple reason that, like, that one peeled a lot.
Yeah.
And
yeah, 73 and 71 is kind of like 72 and 68. Turns out it matters.
I mean, I guess probably Zen 25 is probably the ball. And
yeah, ish. I would say Rockstar is probably what I use in that place right now, even though it's not polished.
That would make a very nichey ball. For me, that would be a spare ball.
Yeah, they make those, and that's what they are.
Yeah, because John was the guy who would give us the generous super chat earlier, looking for something weaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
There's nothing with those numbers anymore. But that was the tropical surges are probably the closest, but they still more than that.
But the tropical surges have pretty strong covers on them.
Right.
Yeah. They're another ball that the lefties seem to get way more use out of than righties.
Right. Cove on the house shot. I actually don't know because I haven't bowled on a house shot in.
If you throw it like Quentin Collins, you could get quite a lot of use out of it. My boy Q put on a sesh with the Cove up in Delaware. Man, that center's got some lines on it though. Good God. I did have to laugh though. Ray Marsh's team ended up coming away with the win, like they do quite often. Pretty good bowlers on their team, but they always bowl the final on the same 3 pairs. Like, and Ray goes, yeah, this is the 6th time we've been in this final match. I've got a pretty good feel for this pair. We always have to bowl on this pair for the scratch match. Because with UBA, they have like a scratch, a handicap, and a real handicap match type scenario.
Yeah, gotcha.
And the scratch match is on one of the worst pairs in the house, 13 and 14. That was where I got my ass handed to me in the contract match also. But it just made me laugh when he said, yeah, we've played this final match 6 times. I was like,
wow. Good for you.
Yeah, we're a lot better than everybody else.
Do you like trouble? I didn't. Stu drilled one. I used the black one for a little while, mostly last year. Not much this year.
I literally used it in one match to take out God, what's his name? Bailey Maverick.
Mm.
I really didn't want to break the lane down. So I tried to get a couple of cheap wins, which I did using that ball before he was able to get the lane broken down and move left when I bowled him on Viper.
Mhm.
So the problem for me is with that ball, my rev rate just isn't quite high enough. So when I go up the back of it, it goes pretty straight. And when I get around it and it touches the friction, she curves.
Well, league with the guy who uses 78U on a house shot down and any suggestions pull around it. I mean, this is basically what tour turns into all the time right now. And, on something 41 feet and less, 42 feet and less, maybe. And it's basically just a medium ball, whether it's Ember, Rockstar, Phase Twos, I mean, Optima Idol, and you just get inside of that and get your break point right at the tracer down lane because the newer urethanes create quite a bit of hold, and so you just got to be able to get your break point to the right of it and get around it, match up your speed, get a little slower.
I was about to say a slower ball speed.
Yeah, I did watch Springfield doubles,
but probably only till the end of the round of 16.
Right around then. Yeah.
Yeah, the two righties won. What a miracle!
Yeah, I mean, there's so many left-handed. It's so ironic that at the end there was two right-handers. You went, the good draws, guys.
I was about to say, I mean, Zach shooting like 500 over was obviously quite helpful for their team.
Yeah.
And then
nice
Ferro
recovery since Lucy for him.
I think Ferro bowled really well in the matches from what they were saying on the commentary.
Yeah. Well, he had big scores, so I mean, you can't fake your way through Baker. But,
yeah. But I think he actually struck a bit more than Zach did in the matches, which is quite a turnaround given how many Zach beaten by in qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did enjoy Nick Crummel's post. He made me laugh. They went out on a pretty difficult hit, and he said, this kind of sums up the last few weeks. And this 19-year-old at Baldwin didn't really understand the assignment that it wasn't my job to carry him. Oh, shit.
I didn't watch to that point, so I couldn't say, but I thought they were obviously one of the better teams. There's a lot of great teams there. Biondo and Prather got clipped pretty early.
I was about to say, Emily, my mother-in-law, has a phrase for this. Oh, well. Heartbroken. It didn't go right for the lefty combination. Lefty and a righty. Righty.
All right. Well, we are a ways into this, and I guess we'll start having some more regular shows. So, we'll. There you go.
You like that one a little bit, right?
I did, and I'm an RST line fan as well. Somebody else brought that up earlier. I like this UC2. That's kind of the Gremlin, supposed to be a hybrid of those two. It does feel a little stronger than
I feel like it's a little stronger version of the UC2. I don't see it being much like the X2 personally.
Now, core number wise, maybe it's a little bit closer, but in the end, it's just stronger. Period. Yeah, I'd say closer to UC2 than the X2.
I think my challenge with the Gremlin is going to be finding a way to drill it to get it to continue a little bit more. I feel like with it being so quick that when I end up getting to it, the lane's transitioned enough that it makes it really go forward down the lane. So I've got to have I might end up drilling a down one.
Yeah, I have a taller one, usual like 5.5, and then I have a lower one now that's at 5, and that's when I put some surface on at the end. And if I had done that a little sooner, I think the TOC probably would have turned out a little bit better. But
can we just answer this one question? Because I think this is a really good question. It said, you spoke about playing the oil versus playing the dry. Can you explain what you mean? Is playing the dry just throwing it up 5?
No, there's guys that use hook and throw it to the hook, and there's guys that use oil and use the oil. Like if you think of the left, Jesper plays hold. He plays the oil. He doesn't throw it to the left versus Jacob, who always throws it to the left.
Yes.
And so Jacob plays the dry. he's throwing it to a hook spot and getting it back off of it. Jesper's looking for a line of hold and will play the hold and doesn't care about getting entry angle. He's got 600 RPMs and 21 miles of ball speed to take care of whatever might be left up there. And that's the easiest way I can explain it. But when you get
100%.
on the wet dry like that, yeah, I mean, it's you have two choices. There's guys that like use really strong balls, will play the dry and try and blend it out that way. And there's guys who just stay away from the dry completely and stay in the oil and then find something speed wise or ball wise that lets the ball crawl up out of the oil if you have to choose between the two.
And 100%, like some places it's you play the oil. Like for me personally, like Kansas, the whole state of Kansas is 100% a tug fest.
Yeah, play the
Like,
oil.
The dry is so incredibly responsive that you couldn't play the dry. I remember
That's the North Rock effect, because where the most tournaments are, that place is the most play the oil joint around, and so that's what people do. And then when you get around centers who are like Plano, you can play the hook. It's a lot more blended, and so when you get around that area, people tend to play more of the dry. And when they miss left, they can get away with one, but they don't play the hold as much there. So hopefully that clears it up. Congratulations, Shannon Plahowski, for winning her 5th title. It's crazy that she only has 5 titles. It feels like she's been great for like 20 years, and I don't get how it's only 5. But
well, she also is about to win 6 tonight as well.
Yeah, she feels like she's on a little bit of a hot streak right now, and but you know how the shows go. I mean,
yeah, no, I get it. I just find it funny that like they've been to this place a million times. This ABC Gates Bowl, they're a huge supporter of the PWBA,
right?
And they've managed to, unfortunately, have a lefty basically lead every tournament. So fair fucks to them. Good play, but little disappointing from a right-handed point of view.
Yeah.
One
Verity
thing I
going
would
8-0 is pretty cool. So
sorry,
Verity going 8-0 is pretty cool. But when your low game's 232 or something like that,
I was about to say, and then the next round she went from leading by 200 to 8th or something.
I didn't even see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she bowled 160 and 130 and went 1-7 the next round. And then she bowled great the last round and went back up to 2nd. She had a roller coaster. Like she probably did it in close to the best order possible. Because if she'd have bowled the block, she bowled 2nd, the last block, and ended up 2nd, she would have been leading by about 400 going into the last block. If you'd have ended up 2nd, there's very, very little chance that you would have won that tournament.
Right. After from 400 to out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I have. It didn't go very well for me the second block either.
Yeah. I bowled about once upon a time about 160 of those blocks. So they had a couple of 8-0s. I went 7-0-1 actually in Erie for my first title to go from 18th to 3rd. That was a memorable one.
I think the best match play performance I ever saw that I was actually there for was Mitch Beasley at the TOC the one year. I think he went like 21-2 and 21-2-1 or something ridiculous like that. It was absurd.
Impossible.
Yeah. Every time he changed pair, he'd open and you're like, oh, that's great. And then he'd change ball and have a 6-bagger and be like, oh, he won again.
Yeah.
But, all right. Let's
all right, guys. I appreciate it. We will see you on Thursday, I believe. And between now and then, please support the sponsors, support us. Storm, Rotogrip, Niner Global, Cool Whip, Bowler Smart, Fire Lake Bowling Center, Lightning Strikes, and of course, Lightning Forward. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
See you later.